Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone back. It's been a long, 2 weeks since we've done a show. So hope everyone had a good holiday. Have a good new year. How we doing today, gentlemen?
Yeah.
You guys always chime in with such good responses. Sometimes I can't contain my reaction.
Well, we are not award-winning producing and all that other stuff.
Hey, I can't help it. You know.
No, it's been one of those weeks where everything right is definitely wrong, and glass is broken, and internet's not working, and whew.
I was gonna say, it's weird. You can see your eyes today. Usually we see the glasses with the glare, but you got eyeballs. So can you see us? We're right here.
Tragically and unfortunately, yes, I can.
What? You're going to be in trouble when stout comes on. You have the two bald spots giving you a nice big gleam in the eye.
Uh-oh. That's going to be a problem. I am very light sensitive with my contacts in.
Playoffs are 1 week away. NFC is pretty much all but decided. There's a couple really big games today. There's that one in, where's it playing? Lambeau?
Yeah.
There's something going on there, right?
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
There's a parade.
They're having two teams come in with playoff aspirations to Lambeau? That's weird.
Right. So Green Bay wins. That last spot's a done deal, am I right? I mean,
that Packers control their own destiny today. They don't need to scoreboard watch. They just need to take care of business.
Right, they get the ability to go lose to San Francisco again in the playoffs.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is I have been that guy since they lost that game in Detroit that has said this team isn't making it. This team is not good enough to make the playoffs. Last 4 games they've shown me different, and honestly, when I see that,
are you kidding me? Playoffs?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Nice.
So Seattle has a shot to get in if they win and Green Bay loses. The Lions have a shot to get in if they win and Seattle loses. I mean, that last spot's coming down to the wire. I really think the NFL dropped the ball, though. I honestly think this game should have been played early, where the Eagles should be played the late game, just so the games matter all the way through. Because if the Eagles win, then what does it matter after? Like with the Eagles win, they clinch home field 2 out. They have the NFC East all sewn up, so that makes the Niners game kind of irrelevant. It makes the Cowboys game kind of irrelevant, but
it doesn't make the Niners game irrelevant, because if the Niners lose and the Vikings win, then the Niners go back to 3.
You still have home field.
I understand, but it still changes the seeding.
Oh, I mean, naturally.
I understand that the Bucks don't need to play today. Quit discounting.
I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is,
my goodness,
the Bucks don't need to play today.
I mean, everything's irrelevant.
No, I'm saying it's the Eagles game renders pretty much everything irrelevant. Is why it should be the last game.
No matter what the Eagles do, the Packers-Lions game is still important.
Right, but you got the Eagles game the Eagles game matters on the Eagles game. You got the Niners game that hinges on the Eagles game. You got the Cowboys game that hinges on the Eagles game. Granted, the Niners can move up 1 seed. It doesn't affect their home field advantage until they get into the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but to play the Eagles game last, that's boring. You're going to play the one that is, oh my gosh, the team has the win to get in.
Vikings should blast the Bears.
Now, hold on. I did read a scenario where if the Bears win, it wouldn't matter because they're not going to be in the playoffs.
I don't know how true that is.
Correct.
However,
wait.
Well, if they in fact do lose, and let's say the Vikings, Packers, and all that other lose, it's a scenario where that really still wouldn't matter because they're not going to the playoffs.
So, you know what? Let's dive into the North.
Let's head north with Eye Candy Indy and the Packerbacker.
I like this new Andy where he rips on the Bears. It's a lot better. A lot better.
Because next year undefeated, 37-0.
Oh, we already started. Okay.
Andy, did you see the new thing that they're promoting for their new touchdown song?
Oh, the graphic wars. I love it.
What's funny is Andy didn't have a chance to get anything in there because he's just lagging.
That too. There are so many words. I don't. Basically, the two words that I would like to say to you, two special words. Second one is you.
I think the first one is love.
Okay, we'll keep it PG-13.
So what's the news about your guys' quarterback breaking his back from carrying the team all year?
That he broke his back from carrying the team all year?
Oh, okay. All right.
You know what's awful is he was on track to have the best rushing performance of any quarterback in NFL history.
Yeah. Who do you overtake in Lamar? Because he's just better. He's a better Lamar.
2023, and here we go.
Yeah. No, we just had a little bit of a hip thing, and you know what? You had several of those games that were, as soon as they were mathematically out of it, they probably should have actually rested them a little bit more. They really could have or should have, but now it just says hip, just a bit of a hip thing. So
Week 1,
week 2, no, week 4.
Okay.
But I mean, if they played in like an easy division again, like the South and stuff like that, even the Jaguars are in the playoffs. I mean, that's just ouch.
That's the AFC. But anyway.
But like I said, all the other teams they just happen to be in the playoffs, and it's just one of those things where you're kind of seething because you see what the Bears could be, and it's just unfortunate because they weren't able to put it all together this year. Next year they have an opportunity to do things for sure. And in Green Bay, of course, getting a little bit older, they're going to have to do a little bit of a rebuild as well. Will Aaron be there? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. It's a little too early for us to sink the ship on the Pack today, as they play the Lions, who we all thought was going to be such a great team this year that have a chance to make the playoffs. But
they still do. So I don't know. It depends. They're going into Green Bay, correct? So
yep.
It's certainly going to be one of those opportunities where the Lions could, of course, beat up on the Packers, or conversely, the Packers could actually end up pulling out and conceivably making the playoffs, which is also something to really seethe about, and it's quite upsetting. But
hey, Stout, question for you.
NFC North, Jerry.
What's it like listening to these 500 and below teams talk?
I know it's fun, ain't it? Especially the one that keeps saying how good they're going to be next year. They say that every year. 1986.
All right. So
the good thing about with the North and the way that it currently is the division is so much better than the other divisions at this point that all of your teams are probably going to lose the first round of the playoffs. Even if they play each other, they're both going to lose.
Okay.
I hate you all.
This is what we could do at the North. The Vikings and Lions are going to be in top for a while, and the other two are going to be in the bottom. All right, let's move on to a different one.
All right, so Vikings at Bears. Game should be a cakewalk for Minnesota, no?
Chances are yes. However, stranger things have happened, but I would definitely if I had my picks in time, I would probably even wait for the Vikings.
Okay, so we got Andy with the Vikings. That's his one pick six since he didn't submit them.
Okay.
Got it. All right.
Wait, which week are we doing? Because he hasn't submitted the last 8 weeks.
So here's a question for you guys. Do you think the NFL wants the Packers out of the playoffs? And honestly, why would you want one of the largest fan bases in the NFL not to make the playoffs?
No.
I mean,
absolutely not. They would love to have them in the playoffs.
I was going to say, don't get me started. Somebody's doing conspiracy theory shit, and then, the next thing you know, you're going to be playing the soapbox for me while I'm talking. So
Right. Here you go, gentlemen. Do you guys trust Kirk Cousins in Minnesota to actually get something accomplished this year?
Well, they'll win the last game. So yeah.
He has actually shown quite a few things this year. He's broken his little Thursday night curse or whatever the case was. He's actually shown quite a few things. It wouldn't necessarily surprise me if he's actually kind of reached that, I don't want to say full level up, maybe the half level where, he's just kind of putting it all together, which is kind of ironic because he's kind of in the back part of his career. Similar to Dak, who probably should have retired about 5 years ago. Jimmy G, who really is shocking. He's not like broadcasting or selling knives or something like that door to door, but whatever.
So honestly, Kirk Cousins, I mean, he does just enough. I think he's like Trent Dilfer, but just a little better. You know what I mean? He does well managing the game, but he could win a game for you if you really need him to. Just don't ask him to do it all the time.
He'll win a game.
Why is it every time we talk about something, it always leads back to that shitty-ass team in the South? You always
The
compare
Ravens?
some. Yeah. Yeah. He was in Tampa Bay, too, numbnuts.
No kidding. Everyone knows, but he's known for being the Ravens quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
He's known for being in Tampa Bay, too. He sucks.
Anyway, so
That team.
let's get into the game itself. Packers Lions. What's your take on this, guys?
I'll go ahead, Andy. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because you're probably going to have more in-depth on it, just simply because you have one of your. Anyway, we'll just move on from there. But if Detroit, of course, can pressure Aaron, you got a problem, because he's not going to have that time to be able to find a receiver who's suspect anyway. Running game isn't exactly what it used to be. So I mean, you pressure Aaron, you're golden. You're gonna end up with a big old W. But
Apparently, Andy didn't watch the game last week or see what happened.
Hey, how many times has Aaron Rodgers been under pressure and ended up folding because of the fact?
How many times have you seen Aaron Rodgers under pressure and then do something with it?
Once.
Ask the Cowboy fan down there what happened.
I haven't seen it in a long time. He tends to choke every year in the playoffs against us. So.
But this isn't the playoffs.
Yet. Well, yeah.
And
It might as well be. It might as well be the playoffs. They win, they're in.
Let's just put it this way. Here's my take on this. Is the honest take. Detroit's coming in already with a chip on their shoulder because they want to prove that they belong with these playoff teams. Now, obviously, they're kind of hand-tied on that because of the fact they have to wait to see what Seattle does, okay? Seattle wins, obviously, they're not going to make the playoffs. But Dan Campbell's never going to let his team against a divisional opponent just flop. They're going to want to take Green Bay out. And
the Lions Super Bowl today.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is. This is the first time we can say the Lions have actually been relevant since I mean, you can't even
Megatron's rookie year.
They'll finish with a winning record if they win, regardless.
Right.
So,
Bucks won't.
Right.
No.
So honestly, you're going to get the best of Detroit, and Detroit is not an easy task. But you are playing at home. You're playing in the elements of the cold and playing in Lambeau. Packers, looking at the injury report, rather healthy. Bakhtiari played last week, played real well. So I think the offensive line will get even a little bit better this week. I know Aaron Jones' injury has improved. He should be rocking and rolling, ready to go. I think when you've got the two-headed monster of Jones and Dillon is a factor, they're gonna try to establish the run game. But the thing is that Christian Watson has proven himself. I think Aaron has shown a lot of trust in Christian Watson. Dobbs is there, and I mean, look. I've been rather impressed the last 4 weeks, and for some strange reason, I guess our defensive coordinator now knows how to coach. So I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident we're going to get the Lions back from the embarrassment we had earlier in the year.
Well,
are we coming back from crazy land
next week, and we'll go to San Francisco next week and lay an egg.
What I apologize for laughing. The last comment cracked me up. I don't know why. Like Detroit might need RoboCop. For some reason, I just found that funny. But this comment we need to touch on, Brian. I really need your input here.
Well, I mean, hey, you know what? I'm not saying he's not a douche, but you know,
I thought that's a doubt.
I mean, he could be right there. But I mean, here's the thing. I mean, yeah, he could go Lions all the way. I hope he's got his own like douche materials after the game's over.
So
if by chance Green Bay does in fact, I might have to carve a little time out to be able to actually put a few things together just so with Green Bay.
Andy's going to be calling off work just so we can throw some videos together.
Pretty much. I'm just installing a new exhibit. Other than that, we'll be good to go.
So,
and I do want to say one more thing. I do want to wish Virginia McCaskey a happy 100th birthday.
That's crazy, though, man. 100 years old. Good thing she's for the Bears.
But Ted Phillips is retiring, so that's certainly
go. Positive.
When she was born, the Bears won the Super Bowl.
No,
there was no Super Bowl. Duh.
Oh, sorry. That's how long ago it feels.
So, but yeah. Anything else going on in the North as this show is again off the rails? So
starting to lose it.
Vikings win, Packers win, end of story. Let's go.
You got Packers winning?
Oh yeah.
And of course the Vikings win unless
Kirk.
Nothing from Andy. I was what? That was my dramatic pause for Andy to come in with the Bears win, but nothing. He just totally dropped the ball there.
No,
so,
you have
just like his receivers.
Simeon as the quarterback. I think they have 2 regular starters that are playing. I think that's about it.
That's all they have playing every week.
That's what it seems like. You look at the injury report, and you're looking at probably 10 names, 12 names.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, I don't think the Bears are going to end up pulling it up. But next year,
we going east or west, gentlemen.
Go east.
Go east.
Let's head east.
Hey Stout, is the sky still falling in Dallas?
The sky is always falling in Dallas. I'll answer it every week. So, yeah, that NFC East. My prediction didn't come true. So, the old R word didn't make the playoffs. So,
the old R word
didn't get in the playoffs. So, then you got New York that's got a spot in the playoffs. So, but
so you got Dallas looking to clinch the NFC East today with a win.
Eagles lost. So, and we're going up against the old R word. I'm sure you say the old R word.
So is Ron Rivera's job in jeopardy this year? Is he on the hot seat Black Monday?
I don't think so. I think he's safe. I think he's safe. I mean, they're not even starting Wentz. I think Snyder, that Wentz thing was all him. I don't think Rivera wanted him.
Someone's a little salty.
Hey, you know what we see? Hey, can we stick our hands out and then we can play Ring Around the Rosie?
Yeah.
Dude, that was
a schoolyard team.
Yeah.
And the play was effective except for a bogus ass hold call. But
yeah,
whatever.
And we're working blue today, huh?
So,
sorry, I swore. I apologize.
They're starting the Commanders are starting their third string quarterback. So Heineke was like, yeah, just let him start. Like it was.
I think Heineke's out.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back. So, but I mean, I think they showed pretty. I think they played a lot better than I thought they would this year. So, and then you got the Giants that are in the playoffs, which I didn't think that was going to happen this year, to be honest with you. He's got that team turned around playing as a team this year. So,
well, the Giants are in a unique situation. Giants are in a unique situation because they could really play spoiler today and put a damper on the Eagles' plans. However, they're benching Daniel Jones and Barkley. They're not expected to play today. I don't even know if they're expected to dress. I didn't see them on the injury report, but it doesn't mean they're not.
No,
it doesn't mean they're going to dress.
He's sitting people, get them rested for the playoffs. So, I mean, it is what it is right now. So, and then you got the Eagles that are going to lose. And then
Hurts is supposed to be back today, right?
That's
Who is?
what they're saying, but I don't know. If Hurts is back, they're going to just roll right through, I think. But if Gardner Minshaw's in there, I think they're.
Now, here's the question with the Giants benching their great starters. Do the Eagles even bother bringing Hurts back?
I was just getting ready to say that.
Do you treat it like a preseason game where it's like, hey, you got the first quarter just to get some stuff under your belt, or do you just keep him benched?
Well, I think you play Hurts to get him some repetition. He's been out, what, 3 weeks now?
They're gonna play him, but I mean, if it's starting to be a blowout in the game, I think they'll pull him. But they want that number 1 seed. They're gonna want it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna. But I mean, if they're winning big, I think they pull Hurts out. You'll see some of the starters getting pulled, I think, in the fourth quarter. But
how bad a look is it if, say, they play Hurts, 6 plays into the game, he gets a concussion?
You mean he hurts his leg?
Yeah, he has a terrible ankle sprain.
His back is up.
But I'm being serious. I mean, you jeopardize your playoffs just for the number 1 seed. I mean, I know that's a big deal, but
we talk about this. This will get talked about it. Do you rest your players? Do you play your players? I mean, it's one of those questions that never gets answered correctly until somebody gets hurt. I
tried to tell my employer that it was the playoffs and I was just going to rest this week, but they made me come to work today. So,
yeah, I mean,
look at it. It's their job, really. They should. Fans pay the money to go watch their team play, not their team's backups.
Yeah, but I think you've got enough fans that are knowledgeable enough to know, like, you know, it's all hindsight too. You know, you play somebody and something happens, but in the long run, I mean, you're going to want to get the players are going to want that number 1 seed.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you want it to rest Hurts more, right?
So
you don't want to have to go and play next week. You want another week to rest your starting quarterback.
Yeah. So I do. I think if they're up big, they'll end up sitting them, but I don't see the situation of the Eagles losing the number 1 seed. So I want it to happen, but I don't see it happening. So, you know,
I'm good either way with that because
we know your season doesn't matter and it's already over. Got it.
The losers got to come to Tampa, and they probably are going to go further in the playoffs after that. So,
I mean, and that's the other thing. Like with the Cowboys game today, and the lovely head coach that we have. Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.
That I like to call Barry Switzer, the new era of Barry Switzer. All the players do all the work, and he just takes the rings for fun. He hasn't changed. And then I started looking at, you know, all the years of you guys making fun of how Dallas never played anybody good. They suck. And I finally pulled up, and they've got the best record against above 500 teams, which I don't know because I keep on saying they suck all the time and they end up winning or what. But I'm
Wait, are you switching ship here?
No, I'm not switching. They still suck. The sky's still falling.
Critical time. You're actually praising the Cowboys? Hold on a minute.
So, I mean, I got to give some, you know, I got say some positive things every once in a while, and we'll go to a negative again about Dak tied the league with the most interceptions, and he's played 5 less games. I mean, but if you go back and look at half those interceptions, they're bouncing off the receiver's hands. I mean,
you're starting to sound like a Jameis Winston fan. I'm just saying.
No, Dak isn't a Cowboys. So, I mean, that's my positive take on it. So it's not really that positive.
Trade in the offseason for Kyle Trask.
Yeah. Well, speaking of trading, the rumor going around is that the Cowboys are interested in Mr. Yak himself, Mike Evans. Which, hey, that might work out on our behalf. So, but that's next year, and I don't want to talk about next year because I have, things to look forward to this year. I'm like,
because you're not a Bears fan.
Yeah. So.
I see what you did there.
So we got Dallas winning.
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to say it? I just want to hear you say it.
Sure.
No, you got Dallas winning.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, Dallas winning.
He picked them.
So Giants win. Eagles.
Eagles win.
That's all we're going to give that game.
That's it. I talked about it already.
Every time you shift to talking, you drink something different. Is that like some sort of a thing? A coffee, a soda, now you got a beer. What is up with that?
Trivia question later in the show.
What's funny? What's in Stout's cup?
Don't worry about
what are they drinking in Dallas.
This is alcohol, and then I take a drink of that, and then I add some pop with it. It's just the easiest way to make it.
He's like alcohol, chaser, spittoon.
Or alcohol. Come game time. Alcohol.
So wait, do you take a sip of the alcohol, then put the soda in, then just shake your head up?
Yeah. That's why my head keeps on moving when you talk. Oh no, that's when you talk about the Bears. Never mind.
Oh, if you want to talk about that, you do realize that similar to the Cowboys, the Bears have the best record of teams over 500 when the vernal equinox is 3 quarters, and it's like quarterback.
Let's go west.
Let's go west with Jerry G.
I wasn't done yet. I wasn't done
that bird mouth. What?
At all. I was not done yet. Just because Andy went off the rails, and I'm riding the train, even though I was an engineer the past couple weeks. I'm in charge of it. I'm gonna knock it off the rails if I want.
Anyway,
going west. I don't want to go west. I still want to talk about Dallas and how the sky's falling.
Awesome, Jerry. Let's go west.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna keep playing the Jerry G thing. I mean, it's been 5 weeks now. He hasn't even played. He's not even on the sideline.
Who?
Jimmy G.
Oh, but that's Jerry G.
Oh, sorry.
That's you.
Yeah, I didn't know that was different. My bad.
G-Unit.
No. Anyway.
Yes,
Don't do it. Gosh. Okay. Now the show ratings are going to go up. All right. So the Cowboys suck. That
worked out pretty good. That worked out pretty good.
I'm just going to go through and just start bad-mouthing everybody else's team, and you guys can't refute it. So the West is we've got the Seattle Rams game, which could be McVay's last game coaching the Rams, if rumors hold true, which I haven't thought he's a good coach to begin with.
Is that a him decision or a Rams decision?
I gotta think it's a Rams decision. I mean, you had the Super Bowl winning team, and you went to the worst that a Super Bowl winning team's ever played the next year. And on top of it, you haven't been able to beat your division rival for for 4 years. I mean, that's not good. I think the Rams organization is just upset that they have no fan base.
Well, they're not going to.
I know, but they're trying to do anything they can.
They already came out with an article saying that he's gone through a lot this year, so they're already setting it up for him to leave.
Please put that comment up there because it is going to be the greatest day ever when Brady is traded to the Raiders and we have to watch that guy make a decision on who he's going to cheer for, or is he still going to hate Brady? I cannot wait until that trade is made.
But anyway, NFC West.
Yeah, so the Seattle plays Los Angeles today in Seattle. I think Seattle takes that win. I mean, the Rams are just Baker Mayfield's playing for his career. I think he's going to end up staying in LA. But I still think the Seahawks pull that out.
If McVay's gone, though, I mean, Mayfield's basically just putting a resume together, right? I mean,
I still think
Stafford
in LA. I mean, he's got all the commercial deals already. That's a place for him.
What do you do with Stafford?
I think Stafford might retire.
He's got to ask his wife Cooper Kupp for that.
Well,
tell me Cooper Kupp doesn't look like his wife.
That's an
interesting.
interesting.
Allowed to go to away games anymore.
You know, that's an interesting situation. The way you kind of bring up Cooper Kupp, because I mean, if they get rid of McVay, and they, theoretically they're going to have the two quarterbacks on their hands. Well, if you get rid of McVay, that's your kind of like your offensive genius. So do you now start, because of the fact that you gave away every draft pick until the year 3000, that you start trading away these pieces like Cooper Kupp, try to get something for Stafford, try to, and just completely reset. I mean, you don't have a fan base to begin with, so why are you worried about pleasing them?
Yeah, I think you're going to see that. But, I think you're going to slowly see that happen. They're going to get rid of what they can to get back what they can. And I think that's why they keep Baker, because you can keep somebody in there that people know. He's got all the commercial deals, so he's going to put the Rams on TV to try to build fan base. I mean, whether or not he stinks, he's got all them damn commercials. So I think Seattle takes it, though. I think Seattle wins, puts the pressure on the late game, makes it eliminates the Lions, right? But I still think they win and they wait during the late game. So then the other game is you've got the Cardinals going to San Francisco. Kyler Murray is likely out for even the beginning of next year, they're saying now. Their backup quarterback is out with a concussion, so they'll be starting their third stringer. I don't see that being a close game. I think San Francisco is going to roll with that and start to bench some guys towards the second half of the game. And they'll lock up the number 2 seed unless the Eagles somehow fumble. But I don't see that happening. So,
well, since we're talking about the 49ers, why don't you bring up about the two past quarterbacks that, brought up comments about your current quarterback and how they suffer from.
Speaking of concussions,
yeah. Let's talk about those two idiots. They're freaking.
So here we got
quarterbacks on our team.
We got a comment. Anyone want to give us a dog that'll win today?
Nick Bosa.
I think the Falcons win today.
Oh, you mean like that? I thought you just meant like a player that's going to be good. Got it.
So anyway.
Dog. All right. But anyway, no one's got a dog that'll win today?
Not Tom
Everyone's
Brady.
going chalk.
Bears.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking.
If the Bucks come out without their starters, Falcons win today.
Even with their starters, they might end up
So the
pulling out.
Dogs are supposed to. All right, Dallas will win today. How's that for award? Dallas will win. Is that good enough? Is that a good one? All right.
Somebody cut that sound bit so we have it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only one place left to go. Brian, you got a dog? We're just gonna go to the
Speaking
greatest
of dog, let's go south.
That's about it, right?
I'll take. If I had to pick one, we'll do the Cleveland Browns.
Wow. You went literal dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad Bucking guy, what's going on in the South?
The NFC South, the worst division in the NFC. There's nothing exciting about the NFC South today.
Today.
We could really just, let's just end the show. I'm just playing. So, Bucks at Falcons. We do have big news for the Bucks-Falcons game. Most of you Bucks fans, you're going to be in awe of what you're just going to witness right here. I'm going to put it up there.
Brace yourself.
I want you to sit back and enjoy because it is simply amazing if I can find it.
I get my jersey.
Where is it at? There it comes. You will have a Kyle Trask sighting today in Atlanta. And it went away again. There it is. Don't look away.
How overwhelming.
No.
Did you guys just see that? Mike Evans got 3 yards of yak on that play.
He had 207 yards receiving last week.
Of yak, though. He actually ran after he caught it. He didn't drop it because there was open grass in front of him.
There are reports that Ryan Jensen could play today, but I don't know how likely that is just because the game's so meaningless. You might see him a couple snaps, but other than that, I don't know if he actually plays today.
Next week, their game is meaningless too, right?
Yeah, they're going to end up playing the Cowboys and knocking them out of the playoffs, kind of like it's a rerun. Did you guys see week 1? Stout. Did you see that game?
Bears won on week 1. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, and Jimmy G was walking at one point during the season. So,
and Tom Brady was married.
Yeah, Brady was married at one point last year.
I mean,
yeah, but that still sucks.
It's a new year.
I'm not worried about it. You know why? Because you still have those 2 coaches down there, so I'm not worried at all.
So, we're not putting the image up, Stout. Sorry. All right.
Why not?
I don't know where it's at. Do you know how hard it is for me to go through all these things we have over here?
Are you talking about this?
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Fire them cannons!
See, Brian found it. But so yeah, Bucks, Falcons, Donovan Smith, Vita Vea, Carl Nassib, Carlton Davis, and Logan Ryan are all out today. For the Falcons, you got Elijah Wilkinson who's out, but I don't think it matters. If the Bucks play their first team the first half, they should win this game. If they pull them, it's anybody's game. The big game for me is Panthers at Carolina or Panthers at New Orleans. Just because I like to see the Saints lose. I mean, remember, America, when the Saints lose, we win. But no, seriously, I don't think we're going to see anything real flashy in the South today. It's just going to be humdrum football, nothing really to talk about. But there are some
South all year.
Did you see week 1? Stout, did you see week 1?
Last year, you beat the Cowboys. Big whoop. Give yourself a pat on the back.
I did.
The guy who thinks his team
Pat yourself on the back.
You're not going to win this.
I did pat myself on the back. You were there.
He threw out his shoulder.
Oh, no, that was the year before you came over.
Yeah.
That's right. And who won that game?
I can't remember. That was 2 years ago.
So there is some news, in the NFL that we haven't touched on yet, but I really think we do need to touch on because everyone else has. The first of which is the whole Damar Hamlin situation. This is a big deal, but I think it's even bigger deal because so many people saw it happen. Football's a deadly game, literally. It's an unfortunate situation, but it's amazing to see the outpour of support you're getting from rival teams, rival fan bases. He's making a miraculous recovery. It's crazy how quickly he's healing. It's reported that he could be out of intensive care by the end of tomorrow. So, he's on Instagram already. He's talking to teammates through FaceTime and Skype app and stuff like that. So it's pretty amazing how far he's actually advanced. The other big news that came out this week during about the same time is the whole Payton Hill situation. This tragedy is crazy to me because his kids were swimming in the ocean. He was sucked out into they were sucked out into an undertow, and he had to swim out and save his own children. And any father would do that. I get it, but it's still an amazing situation, and he is in intensive care and needs our prayers as well. But what's really struck a nerve with me is the whole NFL pension program. Here, I'll just pull it up right now, actually. If Damar Hamlin never plays again, he won't get another check from the NFL because he didn't play at least 3 years. If he had played 3 years, he'd get a pension of about $43K a year, starting at the age of 55. But the average player's lifespan is only to about the age of 60. What are your guys' thoughts on this? We're not in the line of work where we would get a pension that substantial mostly anyway, unless you've been at the job for 20 plus, 30 plus years. However, the NFL players put their life at risk every day, much like police officers. Police officers should have an amazing pension. They don't. Firefighters should have an amazing pension. They don't. But the NFL is making money off their players every single day. What are your thoughts on that?
Really? Well, here's where I'm going to go with it. It's 3 years you got to be in the league, which I think if you get hurt on the football field, the pension should start wherever to where you can't play. And you have to go through doctors and everything else for you not to be able to play. I think as soon as you sign a contract, you should be under, their pension of what happens when you get hurt or whatever. But that goes with saying that somebody hurts their toe, like Jerry, we were talking about earlier, that, I can't play no more and I'm not the same. I think it's got to be, if they do change the program, it's going to have verbiage in there to stop all I can't play again because my toe's messed up. We're talking about legit, this dude died on the field, and now he's not going to receive anything from it. But I think with all that said, everybody that signs up to play football, we all kind of know in the back of our heads that something could happen. But the NFL is terrible at taking care of their older athletes. It's terrible. It hasn't gotten any better. To be honest with you, Dicko's the one, like we talked about earlier, Mike, Dicko's the one that kind of started all that. Him and Kyle Turley are a big part of taking care of all the older NFL guys. I don't think the NFL does enough for them guys from back in the day. Because these guys are making way more money than them guys did. But to that point, I think they need to refigure out this pension that they have year-wise and go through it with every injury is different. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't. It's bad. It's another black eye on the NFL with this happening, with one, everybody seeing it, and two, and then information like that coming out.
I disagree though, because yes, hey, it looks bad because we're pointing it to, oh, it's Damar Hamlin's situation and that. From a business standpoint, you have to have something in there like that because, like I said earlier to Stout, if somebody breaks their toe and claims, oh, I can't compete anymore, I'm out of the league after 1 year, or hell, they get drafted or they even get picked up, and they don't cut it, they don't make a team, and they just hang it up. The NFL can't be on the line to pay that guy for life now, right? And at the same time, that whole agreement that everybody's saying, oh, the NFL is horrible for this and this and this, is agreed upon between the NFL and the Players Association. So the players agree to that. So you can't go back now and say, oh, well, the NFL is bad for this or whatever. That's part of their contract. That's
no, I totally agree with that. I'm just the narrative is that everyone should hate the NFL for what they've done, and it's like you said, it's agreed upon between the players' union and the NFL, and if the NFL would allow more former players to stay into the Players Association, you might have a different spin on it, as newer players aren't worried about future endeavors. When you're 21, 22, 23, 24 years old,
and you're signing a contract for millions.
Yeah, and all you're thinking about is right now.
Exactly.
But if they let older players into the union or stay in the union, you might see different results. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't be so pissed off about it as I am now. I mean, but I get they agreed upon it, and that's what I was saying. They agreed upon it, but what I'm saying is they need to change something there to keep the pension there, but have something in there to where something happens.
Well, and that's
where he dies on there. That's different.
That's going to be taken care of on the team level.
Oh, right? Yeah, but
Bills are going to make sure that Damar Hamlin is hooked up and whatever throughout. Same thing with Shazier, right? When he got hurt, the Steelers took care of everything, and they made sure that he even stayed on the roster to be getting paid, and all that stuff. So,
right.
Well, so you could have the doctors, but I understand that, but the NFL has to do something other than
it's a business at the end of the day, and so they have to do what makes sense for them, and it's agreed upon. So
I understand that, but you can't just brings up every time something like this gets up, it brings up to me how they've treated the players from the past and how they constantly keep treating them, and that's where I start to get pissed off at, to where these guys aren't making what these guys are now. We still need to take care of them. I mean, there's how many of them older players that end up being homeless and not being able to take care of. I mean, it's remarkable if you start looking at it, and that's where I start getting pissed off at it, because, everybody knows what they signed up for when we're signing up for stuff, especially when they get in the NFL. But to be treated like that afterwards is just remarkable.
I completely agree. I agree with that. And I mean, prime example, I mean, Andy, you know about this with the Steve McMichael situation with his battle. I mean, the NFL's paying him $0 for his stuff. The Chicago Bears are the ones that are fronting the money as an organization to him, because they were dedicated to him, and McMichael is dedicated to them. That's the problem with the NFL. The NFL has no dedications to anybody. The NFL is just making billions upon billions of dollars, and they aren't shelling out what should be some sort of a pension plan, an actual, truthful, and honest pension plan for the guys that risk their bodies, their lives on the football field in the past. That's something that I've always been ticked off about, especially with the whole CTE and concussion stuff. Now, granted, the NFL has thrown money at, testing and stuff like that. But the thing is it's not enough. It's not enough for these older guys, and it just sucks that they don't treat the past, the people that actually built the brand, to the way it is now. It upsets me. It really does. Yeah.
The former players, you're looking before, 2000, and CTE became a big deal after Seau. So let's say before Seau's suicide, right? If you look at all the players before that, they paved the way to this game with hard hits, helmet-to-helmet contact, slamming of players, fist fighting at the line of scrimmage. I mean, that was the game. If you look at the 1980 highlight film from NFL Sports or NFL Films, it's all big hits. You know what I mean? It's all head-on-head collisions. It's all heavy impact collisions. And now that the league's trying to work their way away from that, they're throwing money at it. But really, the problem's been there the whole time. They just have been making money off it. That lawsuit wouldn't have came out, you wouldn't see the league backpedaling at all.
So, to kind of expand upon what Jerry was talking about, yeah, it is unfortunate at the end of the day a business. Now, if you want to be able to readjust your pension plan for future and even for the past players, you're opening yourself up to massive lawsuits that could, in fact, probably collapse the league. To actually also expand upon what Brian was saying, with Steve McMichael, he is one of those iconic players in and around Chicago. I mean, think about how big Chicago is. Now think about it like this. If you're looking at one great big huge bubble, everybody and everything are contained within that bubble. It's a small area, it's a small city, small, little cliques. If you're one of the Chicago Bears from '85, it's one of those things where, you're really never going to have to worry about buying a drink at a bar and things like that because of who you are. And if it actually trickles down to the team, then yes, I think if anything, the teams in and of themselves should actually be able to take care of their players, supplemented by the NFL, perhaps. With that being said, again, it's all it's all a business, and everybody has to make money. So, and Mike Webster, as a matter of fact, the former center for the Steelers, was of course, I think he's patient zero. If you actually watch that documentary, but it's just simply one of those things where they were able to, and unfortunately, he had gotten to that point where, cognitively he was in bad shape, but that of course you don't necessarily want to be able to open yourself to that type of a class action lawsuit that Junior Seau, Dave Dorison with the Bears, and countless others that unfortunately have actually had major brain injuries and things like that. And it's just unfortunately one of those things. It is a business, but I think if anything, supplemented by the NFL, the team should actually be able to take care of their former players, their former employees, in the fact that, health-wise, you literally gave yourself basically blood, sweat, and tears for the team. So, but you do need to set yourself a standard. So 3 years, if you're with the team for 5 years, perhaps.
Well, I mean, even that, it's like, yeah, timeline, but then what kind of injury? Hey, a guy blows out his knee, can't play anymore because his knee's so destroyed. Imagine if Mike played in the NFL. I can barely even stand up because his knees.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like, what kind of injury are we going to say is so detrimental that the NFL now has to jump in and pay this person or give them these benefits or this and that? Is it only head injuries, or is it, this guy broke his back because he got hit, or I mean, you can hurt your knee or your leg or whatever just by cutting on the turf. We see that it's a week. So you can't come in and just say, it's because of the big hits and this. And so that's where the NFL stands high and says, well, we're corporate. We don't have to, come in and do this and that, because at the end of the day, all that stuff is agreed upon when you sign the dotted line. Mm-hmm. So you can't really come back now and say, we complained and this and that. Look at any business that people work for day to day. It's rare to find one that cares about you after you leave.
No, absolutely.
There's a couple of differences. First off, you have Johnny Knox, for example, if you guys remember him from the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
When he had his back injury. But there are certain other places that actually do tend to be a little bit more generous as far as either pensions, retirement, things like that, if you are in a certain amount of danger. So if you happen to be like one of the guys climbing on one of those 600-foot poles to change a light bulb, things like that. Yeah. And in the NFL, it's very similar. And literally any play, as we've seen, recently, could end your life.
The guy that climbs up on that pole, it's reflected in your salary, right? He's getting danger pay or emergency pay or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Look at the NFL players; they're getting paid more than anybody can even fathom in within seconds.
But I'm talking.
Mahomes makes more in a month than I do in 5 years.
The NFL as a whole, as a league, who gets doesn't pay like anything in taxes and all this other stuff, and they're $1 billion company. It has to be something other than that. I think when situations like his comes up to where he actually died on the field is what I'm getting to with that. That has to change somewhere like with that. Like
the NFL is
like something has to happen, not just the team.
The NFL is set up in such a way that each independent team is basically a subcontractor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's really, I mean, as terrible as it is to say, it all falls on the team because the NFL is not going to do anything to take money out of their pockets. And not that I want to get off this subject because it's a great topic of conversation, and it's one of the, I don't want to say good things that have come out of the Hamlin injury, but it honestly is one of the good things that have come out of his injury is we're talking about things like this, and other people are talking about things like this. But I promise you, the NFL does not want to lose money.
And they won't.
So it's not, yeah. So anyway.
I got one other thing. I got a question. You guys were talking about McMichael. He played football? I only knew him as a wrestler. He played football somewhere?
Right. So, like I was saying, NFL is not going to want to lose money. And if you don't want to lose money, or if you do want to lose money, listen to the Packer back.
Well, I gotta write this down. These segues, man, I just can't.
I was trying to find a way out of it.
We're gonna make this quick. We're gonna make this quick. Remember when we said the underdog went in today? Take the Browns 2.5 over the Steelers. You want to take the over of 42.5 with the Vikings-Bears game. Take the Dolphins on the money line versus the Jets. And then the Arizona and Niners game, you want to take the over at 40.5. There you go.
You guys get all that? I got the Browns, but
I'm a little close. Can you do it again?
I want to know what you have to
I got the Browns.
Well, before we get
guys later.
Before we get into our pick six, we do have to give our plug to Let's Talk Sports as soon as I can find it in all these videos we've added this week. There it is.
The Crüe NFC Roundtable is proud to partner with the Let's Talk Sports Network, available on YouTube, Roku, and Amazon.
All right. Pick six. Last place goes first. Andy, let's give us your pick six today. All right, my turn. All right.
So I'd like to think anybody who's playing the Packers, anybody who's playing Tampa, anybody who's playing Dallas, anybody who's playing San Francisco. So those ones are going to be winning. That way, all of you can be at home. That way, all of you can be at home with me watching, other teams play in the playoffs.
All right, so you got the Lions, Falcons, Commanders, Cardinals, Bears. You need one more.
We took the Vikings earlier.
Seattle Supersonics.
He on the show said Vikings were going to win earlier. That's who he's going to get.
There you go. Let him have the key. Let him feel good that he got one win, and let him have the key.
All right, so he's got the Vikings and then the Supersonics. Got it.
There we go. So I actually picked the
80s.
Oh, Andy, I wanted to tell you, happy 1985. It is a new year for the rest of us, but we know you're a Bears fan, so it's still 1985. All right.
That was horrible. Because you had the same thing 1995 with the Cowboys. You have 2 yards short for San Francisco. Green Bay and their bloody cheese. Anyway.
All right, then.
Tom Brady.
All right. So I have the Jaguars winning, which, of course, came to fruition because I'm Nostradamus. We have the Bengals winning, the Bills winning, the Texans winning, the Steelers winning, and the Cowboys winning.
That Jaguars game was ridiculous.
Defense wins football games, brother.
Yeah, if that was Brady throwing that pass, that would have been an incomplete pass.
You talk about Brady throwing passes. Have you seen the Kyle Trask highlight tape? Yeah, Johnny, that segue was awful, but I was trying to get us out of that topic for so long, I couldn't figure out a way to do it. Who's up next? Is it Andy or is it Stout?
It's me. So
It's me. Hi.
I forgot. Stop. You talk about derailing us doing it. Look what you do. That's the reason why we do the stuff we do. Because you do stuff like that. And now I'm at a loss. I can't even remember who I picked. I got the Cowboys. I know. So whatever. I'm going to stay in third place. It doesn't matter. No chance for me getting. So whatever.
So you did pick the Chiefs.
And I always pick the Vikings for my buddy. I don't know what he's doing up there, but he's got the Vikings looking good. So
you picked the Colts.
Oh, did I? Sweet. Let's go with that.
You got the Chiefs.
I thought I was typing it wrong. I did.
Cowboys, Vikings, Colts. The Colts.
Well, I had to pick a different
How much
team.
have you? Stop. What are you drinking in that cup?
Nothing.
The Colts?
For the first time in the history of the show, the Colts have been selected in pick 6.
I had to pick somebody other than Brian and Jerry, so I mean.
So you picked the Colts? Like that was your go-to? Like, I got to make up some ground here. Give me the Colts.
Yeah.
If we
and then if you win,
you grab the Bears.
You got to pick the Bears.
I picked the Bears. I know they're going to lose.
Supersonics too. So
They're playing the Vikings. So you're like,
I wanted to take the Cardinals so bad. I wanted to take the Cardinals so bad, but I knew it wouldn't happen.
You know what happened was he was typing and he put the C for Cardinals. He's like, oh, shoot. They're not going to win. Oh, let's just finish it off.
And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. And that's why I can't remember who I picked.
He couldn't figure out how to spell Chargers because he'd already been drinking.
Yeah,
so he's like, O-L-T-S. The Colts. All right.
You know what's funny?
And if they win today, I'm going to be happy. So there we go.
If they win today, I'll wear a Colts jersey tomorrow.
What's funny is that Mike picked the Texans, so
I did.
That's just as bad.
No. Texans are on a heater right now. They've been in every game they've lost recently.
We'll have to pay attention to that barn burner of a game today to see which one's going to win. But wait, are you guys going to make a bet? Like, if the Texans win, Stout has to wear a Bucs jersey.
Why would I deface the Bucs like that?
Well, I mean, or if the Colts win, Doris has to wear a Dak.
Oh, here we go.
Next show.
Here comes Doris' fan club. Oh, the Texans are a good pick.
I think Andy's
joining. Game on here.
Hey, yeah. Andy's joining the Texans fan club. That means the Bears get the #1 pick.
That would
absolutely.
If the Bears lose,
they'll still find some way to trade up.
It's actually kind of funny because I actually should be like a Houston fan, Houston Oilers, Houston Texans, that kind of thing. Because I was born there, but for the life of me, oh my goodness, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's like being in Green Bay. The whole.
You know what's funny is the Bears going to make this whole conversation moot as they win today in an upset.
Oh,
don't get him started. Really, don't get him started.
Select a punter since he's the most common guy on the field for the Bears.
Let's hope not. That would be actually very, very a major negative for the Bears.
Anyway, who's next?
Jerry.
Oh, we're tied. Thank you. Clawed all the way back.
Hey, you know what? No, I'll go. No, you know what? I'll go because I already took the Chiefs and the Jaguars, so I'm already got 2 games.
Jaguars game. That was BS. That was so bad.
And so
defense wins, baby.
I have the Bengals, the Bills, and the Niners and the Vikings.
Jar Jar Binks over there in Jacksonville. My God.
Oh, Jerry's all upset.
I got
Bengals, Bills, Niners, Vikings.
Yep.
Okay, Jerry.
I got the Chiefs, who already beat that team in Vegas, who's just waiting for Brady's arrival now. I got the Niners, Bills, Vikings, Packers, and Seahawks.
Oh, Seahawks.
Had to pick a couple different games there to go for the win. I didn't want to just tie. So
if the Lions win this
huge
week,
Ravens fan today.
if the Lions win this week, what is Aaron Rodgers going to do? Where does he end up?
He's going to go.
If the Lions win, first of all, I'm going to text Brian to make sure he's okay. That'll be my first call, and that'll be the Lions beat the Packers, and that'll be.
Anyway, well, gentlemen, we're past. Go ahead.
Aaron will probably end up in Indianapolis.
That's where teams go to retire, or quarterbacks go to retire.
He is old enough. They have like a minimum age requirement before they get a quarterback.
He's going to Tampa.
There was rumors of Kaepernick to Indianapolis, but he's too young. They only want quarterbacks over like 40 years old.
Kaepernick not retiring is just prolonging his Hall of Fame induct. No. All right. Anyone's got some closing thoughts?
Speaking of Hall of Fame.
Oh God. Back in '85, we were.
Well, actually, I was talking about Devin Hester, who made the finals for the Hall of Fame.
So
of course, having the most returns, having the most. It's just insane. You know, he's definitely going to be.